Happy midterm elections. Arizona, are you kidding me? What's happening in the governor race in Arizona is a little bit unbelievable, but unfortunately also kind of believable. I'll get to that in a little bit, but first, what I want to do here is give a full recap of what I consider the important elements of last night's midterms. Catch up to speed on what we know so far. A big picture, a lot of the election results are still being counted. Some of them we won't know for a while. That's interesting. But here's what we know so far. I don't think some individual races are conclusive, but the big picture isn't conclusive. So here's the best the journalist of JP Sears knows right now. Was there a big red wave? We don't know, but the results are basically no. So the results and the reality, there could be a distinction there. So right now, the best we know is it looks like the House is leaning towards Republican. So it looks like the Republicans will recapture the House of Representatives. Kind of cool. However, some of those races are still not counted. Pretty close, so that might not happen, but it looks like it will. Will the GOP regain the Senate? Based on what we see, it doesn't look likely. The big picture is the results of the midterms look very different than the polls, and therefore the expectations of what the results would be. So all in all, I would say there's a win, but not a big win. There's still going to be a lot of leftist control and destruction in our country, just to say it optimistically. So some of the individual races, the hotly contested Senate race in Pennsylvania, that win goes to John Fetterman. Congratulations to Joe Biden. You're no longer the most incapable person in the federal government. That's a win for Biden, I think. The Utah Senate, this is a race that I cared about a lot. The Senate seat was up between incumbent Mike Lee, Republican, and Democrat disguised as an independent, Evan McMullin. That win goes to incumbent Mike Lee. Congratulations, Mike Lee. The Ohio Senate, J.D. Vance wins. He's a Republican. That was another important seat for the GOP to pick up in the Senate. The Georgia Senate race between Herschel Walker and Warnock, it looks like that's so close that they're going to be doing a runoff election, which I think happens in December. So jury is still very much out for the Georgia Senate. Florida governor, shocker, Ron DeSantis wins, and he doesn't just win, he won by a record margin. Kind of cool. Condolences to Charlie Crist. Not even close, buddy. Texas governor, incumbent Republican governor Greg Abbott beats the human incarnation of soy, Beto O'Rourke, by a huge margin. Beto, I believe this is his third time running for governor. He's 0 for 3. Better luck next time, Beto. Yeah, I got to get espressoed up. I was up super late last night. I had a comedy show in San Antonio. Such a great time with everybody. I did a ton of new material. Thank y'all for coming out and having a good time with me on election night with the full moon and whatever other astrological stuff was going on. I had a great time with y'all. Next, the Georgia governor race. Incumbent Republican wins big over Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams also lost the 2018 election for the Georgia governor race. She denied those election results. She also denies that she denies those election results. So she's not an election denier. She's an election denier. And I look forward to seeing what she has to say about that. She lost by a mile. Stacey Abrams, you might remember her. She believes a fetal heartbeat is a conspiracy theory, doesn't exist. It's a manufactured sound to manipulate people into thinking that babies are real humans. Thank God Brian Kemp won. New York governor, this was an important race. Stacey Hochul, whatever, inherited the seat from Cuomo, and now she's up for re-election. She wins over Lee Zeldin. Interesting there, Zeldin is refusing to concede. I don't know if he suspects suspicious activity. Don't really know the full story, but he hasn't conceded. I don't know if that actually matters. Then we've got the Michigan governor, incumbent Communist Governor Gretchen Whitmer wins over Republican Tudor Dixon. Arkansas Governor Republican Sarah Huckabee becomes the first woman governor of Arkansas. Congratulations, Sarah Huckabee. Oregon governor, this is an interesting race. Oregon's typically really heavy blue, but the governor race as of right now is too close to call between Salinas and Erickson, the Republican. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if that governor's seat gets flipped red. That'll be interesting. Arizona. Hot race between Kari Lake and Secretary of State Katie Hobbs, the Democrat. Those results aren't in. Here's what we need to know. 20% of the voting machines in Maricopa County were malfunctioning yesterday. This led to long lines, people having to wait hours to get in to vote. It led to people still being in line when the polls were closed, meaning they can't vote. These machines aren't working. Yeah, the election machines that probably just ran out of batteries, right? I mean, that happens. Completely normal. These election machines used once every 2 years. They're probably just worn out because they're used every day. So that's completely normal. The RNC tried to legally extend voting hours because of these circumstances, but a judge refused that. So that means we know these voting machines are malfunctioning, whatever the creates, and that also means a lot of people looks like they just couldn't vote. We're going to have delayed results, but here's what we need to know. CNN, all the major mainstream media outlets are preaching a very consistent narrative of we have delayed results. This is completely normal. It's actually normal in third world countries, not first world countries. What happens with delayed results, there's more time for interesting things to happen. And the longer results take to get in, consistently what that means is people have less faith in those results that happen. So completely normal in third world countries, not normal here, but trust us, the mainstream media is reassuring us this is a normal circumstances. They're also reassuring us that the voting machines that were malfunctioning, this is completely normal. We're getting the data in. We need to trust the data. They're telling us, trust us. Don't trust what you're seeing on social media. So we've got those reassurance. There's nothing wrong with these voting machines that had something go wrong with them. Completely normal. So as the Arizona election results are being counted right now, it looks like Katie Hobbs is in a very unpredictable lead over Kari Lake. But with confusing things happening in the Arizona election, you can also rest assured that Kari Lake's opponent, Democrat Katie Hobbs, she's a Secretary of State, so she is overseeing the election. This is completely normal, everybody. It's just like someone who's investigating a murder. The detective that's investigating the murder is also the prime suspect. So who would know better than them to get to the conclusive reality of what really happened? That's what's going on here. Katie Hobbs is overseeing her own election, so we have nothing to worry about. And right now, with the tabulations that we're getting, with Katie Hobbs being in a really unpredictable lead, this is also understandable when we realize she refused to debate Kari Lake. Her campaign rallies had Joe Biden numbers, people in circles, more empty space than people. Kari Lake was filling arenas. She was filling fields of people along with President Trump. It makes sense that Katie Hobbs is in the lead because when you look at another metric on Instagram, Katie Hobbs has about 6,000 followers. Kari Lake has 600,000. So it makes sense that Katie Hobbs is simply more popular if you look at the metrics, and don't think too hard, don't think too long about those. So Arizona, what the hell? That's what we need to know. That's all I can say right now. So this has been the most up-to-date midterm elections report. My freedom-loving friend. By the way, as of now, it looks like the election didn't go... Well, actually, I don't know how the election went. The results aren't going the way we expected to. Good news is, as of now, it looks like the House is flipping red. That's a win, if that actually happens. That's not conclusive at this moment. But if we just live in the world right now where, okay, we get a small win, freedom lovers, I don't know why, but right now the GOP is the side for freedom. The left is anti-freedom. Weird, it's America. So yes, that's a small win when we're living in the world where we just pretend, okay, we flipped the house, if that actually happens. The rest of the results, they didn't go the way maybe freedom lovers wanted, so that's a loss. However, here's what really counts. Even if the elections don't go the way we want, or at least the results don't go the way we want or think they should, I want to remind myself, and I'm going to do this out loud to you, in case the reminder is of any benefit to you, the real difference we make isn't just in how we vote. That's important. I think that's the tip of the iceberg. The 90% of the equation is how you and I live our lives on an everyday basis, how we make a difference at the cellular level of the body of humanity, letting our words and actions live in the unapologetic integrity of our hearts, vibrating at the frequency of freedom, crusading for what we stand for. That's most important. That's how freedom really wins. Elections are important. They're helpful. We have work to do there. Cool. But I think it's important that any freedom lover doesn't feel defeated by how the election results are looking right now. That would be a mistake. That would be a deception, because we're still winning. We're still winning the fight for freedom, and we need to continue that. I don't think we need to manufacture a sense of self-defeat and let our most potent efforts on an everyday basis, how we interact with the world around us and other people, vibrating the frequency of freedom, being free, sovereign individuals, letting our words and actions be in integrity, not with a narrative, not with tyrants, but with our own heart, and I dare say, therefore, God's will. That's where we need to keep going. That's how we're winning so far and how we'll keep winning beyond the critical mass. Team Freedom, don't feel defeated. We're still winning what really matters, and we need to continue our momentum. So with that said, midterm election results, here they are as of now. So by the way, starting tomorrow, this weekend of shows, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'm going to be in Des Moines, Iowa, Clive to be exact, Topeka, Kansas, and Wichita, Kansas. I can't wait to see any of y'all freedom lovers who can come out. And for the rest of you freedom lovers, I hope you enjoy the rest of the week. Keep being freedom. Appreciate you. Stay free.